Hello and welcome. You're listening to Start Again with Shauna Lee, the place where you will be reminded that it's never too late and you're never too old to do the damn thing. So stick around if you're ready to vibe higher and be inspired to chase your dreams. Together, we will uncover your soul's truest desires. Now, if you're ready, let's get started. So today's episode is such a special, inspirational story. I am going to introduce you to Mama Char, who her story is amazing and will inspire you to do more with your life and hopefully ask yourself, what am I waiting for? So she found herself in her 60s, deciding that she had a story to tell that needed to be made into a movie. She sold everything she owned and moved across the country to live in California because that's where movies are made. Did she know how to write a script? No. Did she know anyone in California? No. She only knew that she was compelled to tell her story and she was willing to take the first leap. She found herself living in her car for a year, meeting incredible people, being inspired to take the very next best step. And it all started with a tiny little baby step that got her up off the couch and onto living a new life. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mama Char. So thank you for being on my podcast with me today. I'm so excited to have you.
Well, thank you, Shauna. I am so honored and blessed to be here. I'm excited. I love to talk. So you might have to just shut me up.
I love it. I love it. Well, first, I would love for you to do an intro because you have such a vast experience and a wonderful story, but I want you to hit the highlights on what you'd like to talk about.
Okay. Well, my name is Mama Char, and of course, that's my pen name. My name is Char Leonard, and I moved to California about 6 years ago to write a film. And history has evolved beyond my wildest dreams because I'm not Hollywood. This was never my goal. I was a mother and a wife for 42 years. And the last 10 years of his life, I was his caregiver. So for 10 years, I dedicated my life to my husband and I lost my professional connections. So at age 60, I was widowed. And now I had been out of work for 10 years and there was no going back to that profession. So I didn't handle it well when I became a widow. I decided the first year and a half to shoot myself in the foot and lay on the couch and eat bologna and cheese sandwich, Fritos and bean dip and watch TV. And I gained up to almost 300 pounds in my grief and my sorrow. And one day I looked at a shelf next to my TV that every day I would beat myself up and say, you really need to dust that shelf. And one day I looked at that shelf and I said, today is that day. And that was my first step. My first step to getting off the couch, losing weight, and regaining my life. So I gave away all my TVs because that was my culprit.
Yeah.
I started exercising. I started eating differently, drinking lots of water. Joined a B school, an online school for women, a business line. I highly, highly encourage every person to do Marie Forleo's B school.
I know it.
Really? I'm going to tell you, Shauna, it was life-changing for me. I would give Marie a kidney and she knows that, right? Because she changed my life.
Yes, absolutely.
So through her, I created a podcast. I started, putting my feelers out. What do I want to be when I grow up kind of thing? And I still didn't know. I really didn't know. But in one of my accountability groups, they said, what do you really, really desire in your heart? And it's like, I want to inspire others.
Yeah.
I want to inspire others. And so it's like, well, how do we get that done? So I started on a journey of changing myself to be the best person I could be for everyone else.
I love that so much. And what I love most about what you just said was your tiny first step, because I often say baby steps are better than no steps, because sometimes it is just one tiny little step forward that creates the momentum for you to really be impactful and change your entire life, which is exactly what you did by dusting a
Well,
shelf.
absolutely.
That's
You know,
amazing.
we all want to be that mighty oak,
Yeah.
but we forget it starts with an acorn that splits open.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It doesn't start as a big tree. It literally starts as this little nut. And then it becomes the mighty oak. And don't we all want instant self gratification? Don't we
We
all
do.
want that,
Oh, we
right?
do, especially in
And
today's day and age. We do,
true, well,
absolutely.
fast food, everything is at our fingertips. You know, I'm a DoorDash delivery driver when I'm not acting and doing all this other crazy stuff. So I get it. It's like at our fingertips immediately, as soon as possible. ASAP has become our motto, you know?
Totally.
And so it's like every day, Shauna, when I go to bed at night, the last thing that I say to myself and the universe is, please help me tomorrow to be a better person than I was today.
Oh, I love that.
You know, I don't judge other people. I'm not set on this to judge other people. I'm set on here to inspire people.
Yes.
So when I came to California, I had no idea this was going to be the avenue for me.
Well, and what is this that you are doing now? Tell us about
Well,
that.
okay, long story short, on my 63rd birthday, I became a #1 international best-selling and award-winning author for the second time. And so I had a
Congratulations, by the
thank
way.
you. Thank you. That was part of the transition. That was part of Marie Forleo. How big is your
Yep.
want to? You know, do it. Even if it's not even the best, just do it. Do
Yes.
it. Learn
Yes.
from that one and do it and ladder all the way until you get to where you want to be. But see, when
Absolutely.
David was dying, he wrote a bucket list for me to do when he was gone.
Oh,
And I didn't know about it until I was preparing for his memorial service 6 months later, and it fell out of his Bible.
oh my
So,
goodness.
knowing that I could write, knowing that I had the words within me to draw the crowd, I
Mhm.
could have easily written this as a book, very easily.
Oh, sure.
Because on this list are 10 things that he wanted me to do after he was gone. And these 10 things are things he felt like his illness and disability deprived me of. So
Mhm.
it is wrapped in love and it is just so much. So I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking, this has got to be a movie. And I already have Sam Elliott, Susan Sarandon, and Dennis Quaid. I've been hustling them for 8 years. You got to do this movie. You got to do this movie. I got to get the movie done, but you got to get this movie, do this movie, right? So one day I'm sitting there and I just got off an accountability call. And it's like, if you're going to do this movie, you can't do it in Texas, can't do it in Oklahoma. You got to go where they make movies. And I don't know anything, Sean. I'd never been on TV. I'd never been on a movie set. I'd
I
been in
love
a movie
this.
theater,
Yeah.
but I knew I had this story. I knew it in my heart.
Yep.
So it was April 2nd, and I called my oldest son and I said, well, I've made a decision. I'm moving to California. He's like, oh, okay, whack job. And it's like, yeah, I am. He's like, what are you going to do there? It's like, I don't know. I'm going to write a movie. It's like, oh, okay. When are you going to do this? It's like May 1st. He's like in 28 days. And I said, yeah, like in 28 days. He's like, you're a whack job. You're not going to move to California in 28 days. I did.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did. I had an SUV. In fact, on the bucket list, the first thing on the bucket list is to buy a convertible
Oh,
because
wow.
I had to sell my car to buy an SUV to pull David's wheelchair. And I've always wanted a convertible.
Yes.
So we had an SUV with extra electrical outlets for his charging. And everything I gave away, everything I owned except what would fit in that SUV. And I moved to
Wow.
California.
Wow. That
And
is
when
amazing. And there's a lot of people living their entire lives who don't take half as much of a risk as that.
And, and I get that, and I understand fear holds so many people back, but
Yep.
I was born with no fear. See, I have Mama Char's 3F rule.
Oh,
Again, being raised with 13 boys in the South, 2 girls. So once I remember I asked, why did the boys get to go out and play and I have to wash dishes? And I was told because God made your foot shorter, you could get closer to the sink.
oh,
So, how much did I come with this spirit and how much was learned from my environment? So
mhm.
it's like, um, I don't care what people think about me. I have a 3F rule. If you don't feed me, finance me, or me, I don't care what your opinion is. It means nothing to me.
I
You
might
know what
have
I
to
mean?
steal your rule. I like that.
Please do. Please do. So I don't fear like most people do. And I
Mhm.
get the apprehension, and I
Yeah,
get
oh, for
now
sure.
looking back, you're 65 years old and you're moving to California. You just gave all of your stuff away, everything but what would fit in that SUV.
Yeah.
Everything I owned, I gave away.
You know what's
And
crazy is I hear that and I don't think, "Oh my gosh, how on earth did you do that?" I think, "Holy shit, good for you. That's amazing." And how free does that feel to be able to get rid of all your stuff?
unbelievable. It was painful at first,
Mhm.
because we were event producers for 23 years. And it was just Dave, David was sales and I was operations instead of the other way around.
Mhm.
But uh, along our travels, we would get little memorabilia, from different states. And when I'm purging and I'm looking at this, and it's like, no one but David and I know about what this means. I
Right.
can't,
Right.
even if it's a value or not, giving it to my children would mean nothing to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
The emotion and it is connected to this item.
Yep.
So what I did is I took all those kind of things and I gave them to orphanages, pamphlets,
Oh,
travel stuff, like this is where you can go when you grow up. This is be you, because I was that orphan, right? I was that foster child, and I sponsored them. So
yeah.
it's like I did that. So it was very freeing after
Yep.
we pulled the band-aid off.
Well,
And I
I
think that's what happens in life is we
yes.
don't want to pull that band-aid off
Mm-mm. No, people
because
are
it
afraid it's
hurts.
gonna hurt, and
Really.
the fear is what really guides a lot of those choices. I think this whole concept of working so, the things have memories tied to them, but
Yes,
the memory is still there, right? We take that with us regardless of if we have
absolutely.
the thing. So I love that you found a way to kind of pay it forward and also let it go at the same time.
You know, um, I'm a giver. I'm just a giver. I will give you the shirt off my back, and I always will. And I am proud to say I married a giver and I birthed 2 givers.
That's
Now,
awesome.
I have a hard time receiving,
Yep.
okay? But once I was in meditation and I was crying out. It's like someone wanted to give me something and my first inclination was no.
Yep.
No. No,
Yep.
and I don't know why. And so it's like, God, why am I doing this? And I had this flashback of this gentleman I was raised with. His name was George, and he was our nearest neighbor. And the men folk in our area called him Taker George because George took anything that was offered to him. Now, there's a difference in being a taker and being a receiver.
There
If
is.
you take something, you are in control. You're taking. If you're receiving, you're not in control. Your hands are open, they're not grasping. And so I finally had to realize that when someone is opening their hand to me, it's not appropriate for me to grab it and take it, but it is for me to simply open my hands and receive it. And I'm still working on that. I'm almost
That
71.
that is so beautiful, and I think a lot of women have a hard time receiving. And I'm been curious to know. I also struggled with the same thing, and it was this taking mentality that I kept kind of bunking up against. And I had much the same process, kind of figuring out that there's a very different energy to taking versus receiving. And I like the way you just described the hand open versus grasping.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So I came to California and people are trying to give me things and I'm going like, no, oh, no, because it's not this easy, right?
Oh,
Life
yes.
can't be this easy. I
Why
have
can't
been
it just
taught,
fall in? Yeah,
well, I've been
absolutely.
taught you have to work hard and you
Yes.
have to strive and plan and all of this. And it's like, no, you
It
just
can
have
be
to be
easy.
open.
Yep.
So when I got here to California, I didn't know anyone, not a soul. I rented a room for 2 months with a nurse off a roomster, right?
Wow. Okay.
In Huntington Beach. Decided, you know what? I'll get there and I'll fill out the place. And I love Huntington Beach. It's still my, like a homing pigeon. I still go there. But it's like, I'll fill it out and I'll see what I'm going to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
I had
I love
movies
this.
were not the only thing that film had in my life at that time is I'm going to write a script.
Right.
So I'm sitting at the beach in my SUV and I've got this beautiful setup, right? Writing this film. And I meet this couple that's living in their Volvo
Mm.
with 2 dogs. They live in their
Uh-huh.
Volvo.
Uh-huh.
So every day I'm going and I'm talking to Marjorie and Fred, and I'm talking to Marjorie and Fred. And so I decided I'm going to live in my SUV.
Oh,
And I'm going to write a documentary called Baby Boomers Giving Up the House for the Highway, the Picket Fence for the Pavement. So for 365 days, I lived in my SUV
oh my gosh.
and I
How did
wrote a
your
documentary.
how did your children handle that?
Uh, the oldest one, you're a whack job. You're
Yeah.
a whack job. Oh my God, where are you going to sleep? It's like wherever I want.
Yeah.
I sleep wherever I want. I
Yeah.
pull up. It's an SUV. It's all, I mean, it was perfect. Just had my Bose radio, my $600 mattress. People wanted to buy it for $10,000 every time I went to the beach, every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like Planet Fitness, $19.95 a month. You
Yeah.
shower, you iron your clothes, you dye your hair, and you minister to the young ladies that are living in their cars. California is big in living in
Mhm.
your cars. A lot of
Mhm.
people do.
Mhm.
So you minister to the young people, the young women in the restrooms, right? The showers. You can do this. We're going to get you out of your car. I'm living in my car by choice. You don't
Right.
have to. You
Right.
don't have to. So I found a ministry in Planet Fitness while I did this. So wrote the documentary, sold the concept, brought the SUV back to Texas and sold it on day 366 so I wouldn't live in it. I loved it so much
Yeah.
that I had to sell it.
Yeah.
So then I came back to California and I rented a room like we do in California, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I bought a car and started thinking about doing some background acting. All right. Just to learn the ropes. So there's a big casting company here in California, Burbank, called Central Casting, and
Mhm.
they do the major shoots. I mean, I think Brad Pitt went through them at one time as a background. So they're very well established in
Yeah.
the industry, and you have to watch. I mean, there's a lot of bad things in Hollywood, a lot
Mhm.
of bad things, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I joined, and it's like immediately the hair was red, and it's nice big Hollywood hair, right?
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
was very popular. So background acting, and I'm learning the ropes. I'm listening. I'm like a sponge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm listening. But along the way, I had decided when I first got here that I would give back. And so I found a church that on Sunday mornings we cook for the hungry.
Oh, I
No
love that.
questions asked. The community of Long Beach brings in their goods. We cook it up and we serve it to whoever comes through our line. And I am the dancing dessert diva. I'm the
Oh.
very last one that you get to see. And before COVID, I like to touch the back of their hands and bless them when
Mhm.
I gave them their dessert. And I
Mhm.
always dance when I give it, right?
Mhm.
But now I can't do that. But I'm still the dancing dessert diva.
Yeah.
And so I'm peeling potatoes like the second or third week. I'm talking to this young woman, and she's like, "Well, why are you here?" It's like, "I'm going to write a film." She's like, "Oh, isn't everyone?" It's like, "Yeah, but I'm really going to
Yeah.
write this film."
But I'm
She
actually
says,
gonna
"Well,
do
I
it.
happen to be a director, producer, and an owner of a studio." And it's like, "Oh, okay."
So
She
nice
said,
to meet
yeah.
you.
And I said, really? And I said, well, I said, I'm kind of nervous because I met this lady. This is how it happened, Shauna. I met this lady who is in TV at Paramount Studios, and she's invited me to a breakfast with 300 directors, producers, and cinematographers. This is my third week in Hollywood, third week, to pitch my film. And I don't know how to pitch a film. I know how to pitch books. She said, and this is Sunday. She said, okay, come to my house on Tuesday.
Oh my
I'll
goodness.
teach you how to pitch for Thursday.
Oh my goodness.
I can't tell you when I walked into her house and there's 6 directors, major players sitting there, and they taught me in 3 hours how to pitch my movie.
Oh
And
my
from that
goodness.
point on, it has been like a light over my head.
Mhm.
And I think what it is I saw the potential. See, up until that point, my own insecurities were holding me back, right? I don't know TV. I don't have
Yep.
street
Yep.
creds. I don't. And in reality, I did. I do.
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
Because I was open enough to receive, there we go, receive Dawn's invitation and not allow my insecurities.
Yeah.
So long story short, I did pitch and I pitched it well. I got all kinds of response from it,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm crawling along. It's like living in my car for a year, right? And I get out, rent a room, and it's not a good room.
Oh no.
So I decided, like, you know what? I need to get into Airbnb. I need to get out of this room. And so I went into Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to looking at Airbnb, and I'm talking to these people, and it's like, why are you in this warehouse with 30 people? Airbnb. They got swindled. Again, California is different than any other state I've ever lived in.
Yeah.
Here, we've got this apartment to rent. Send me the deposit and I'll send you a key. And then they get here and that key does not fit that apartment, and neither does that person belong to that apartment.
Oh my goodness.
So they have no place to go. So they go Airbnb. So I thought, oh, there's a documentary here. So I decided to do every Airbnb there was offered. I slept in a tent. I slept in a hammock. I slept in a multi-million-dollar home overlooking Redondo Beach.
Nice.
I slept in the backyard of East LA in a van. And this is a young mother. This was my most favorite. All right, $11 a night. And it's 2 vans. This young mother, a Black mother, raising her 12-year-old son, trying to keep him out of being a statistics.
Yeah.
And she works for this company that takes these vans and they convert them into these little glampers. You know, you have a bed and a water source and all this. Well, these 2 vans had front end damage and they were taken out of the fleet. She bought them, turned them back to back, put them in her backyard, and she rents them for, now it's up to 16, I understand. But
I love that.
I do too.
That is amazing.
She's perfect. And there I met my LA BFF, Austin Lane Walker. I am 6 years older than his oldest grandmother.
Oh, wow.
And he and I bring the stars together.
Oh.
I don't know why he and I go to the Hollywood stars, right? We love to go, and whenever an actor gets their star on the Walk of Fame, we love to go do that stuff, right? And we call them in. They see us and they come running to us. Let's take a picture. It's crazy, because I have taught Austin the same thing. Just let it go, dude. Just let it go, you know? So all of this has happened because 2 things. I took that first step and I decided to receive.
Yep. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Okay, so that's amazing. An understatement. Amazing is an understatement. But along this journey, what do you think is the most surprising challenge that you faced, and how did you overcome that?
Besides my own insecurities is society's stigma on aging in Hollywood. Now, I'm a different demographics because Hollywood doesn't expect me to be a perfect shape. a perfect look because I'm aged, right? Things sag, get bumps and all that stuff. My biggest hurdle for me was not entertaining what I had heard all my life about Hollywood. You had to sleep on the couch to get it. You had to be special.
Mhm.
You don't have to be special in Hollywood. You just have to be you. When you think about all the movies that you see,
Yep.
it's all inclusive. There's old people, there's people of color, there's disabled people, there's free thinkers. It's our world, right? And so my biggest hurdle for me was getting past what I had heard
Yep.
they expected.
Yep.
And when I just was me, Shauna, I don't know why they let me in the second time. I don't. I don't know why they
Well,
use
I
me.
do.
I don't, because I'm going to tell you, when I go on set, um, it's not like typical people go on set. I go on set knowing, number one, I'm going to do the best job I am given.
Yep.
Whether it's a PA, a producer's assistant, and I am just sorting out the chips for the background actors,
Mhm.
I'm going to be the best PA for that day.
Yep.
If I'm a background actor, if I'm a speaking role, whatever, I put on my best hat for the day. This is it. Not tomorrow. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about yesterday. I'm thinking about today, being the best I can be today. Tomorrow we'll talk about the electricity bill.
Yep.
All right. But today I'm going to be a dancer in a Little Nas X video, and I'm going to be the best dancer that there is. And I can tell you, it's working.
It is
It's
working.
working.
It is
It's working. I don't know if you can see my nails.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Harry Styles is
Yes.
coming out with a new nail polish.
Oh.
All right. I get an email. This is how it happens. Hey, Harry Styles wants to work with you on a new nail polish. $1,500
Oh,
for a one-day shoot. And I'm going like, yeah, right. Okay. Well, first of all, and it's at the beach, right? So I send back an email and it's like, no, I'm going to pass. I have ugly hands and I don't do swimwear. I lost 120 pounds. You know where that skin went? Nowhere. Okay. So mama don't do swimsuits. That ship sailed too long ago. They sent back an email and said, okay, we'll change the wardrobe. I sent back. It's like, no, my hands are still ugly. You're talking nail polish. I said, okay, look, because the worst thing I wanted, Shauna, this casting director, to book me, and I get on set in Malibu and they go, oh my God, who's in these hands? So it's like, I'm going to send you a picture of my hands.
Yeah.
You need to know these are ugly hands. My face looks 10 years younger. My hands look 20 years older because I'm a cat rescuer. And cats don't always know they're being rescued. And they scratch and they scar and they're ugly. She said, okay, I'll send to production. Confirmed, booked. So last Tuesday, Malibu, cornered off the beach. 4 of us, 4 talent, myself and an older woman, person of color, which is typical for Hollywood. They will always put a white and black person together in Hollywood. Always, whether it's male, female, always, always, always. Inclusive, right? We're all together kind of deal. Mm-hmm. So it's 2 children and Carol and myself on the beach with spaghetti. It's Hollywood, right? Yes. So I got to eat pink pineapple.
Oh.
They call it the $400 pineapple because it's like $40 for a pineapple, but it was delicious. And the juice is like dripping, and they're going crazy. Yes, 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 yes. Give me more, give me more. I feel like Cindy Crawford.
I love it.
I feel like Cindy Crawford. It's like, holy moly.
This podcast episode will be the record for how many times I can say I love it, because I feel like that's all I've said on repeat. Okay, so this question I ask of all of my guests, but what advice would you give to the younger you? And I think we always think of like the 18, 20 younger you, but for
Mhm.
you specifically, I want to ask you what advice you would give to the 40-year-old you, because this is my audience, women in
Okay,
the middle of their
40 years
life.
old. Okay, do it.
Mhm.
It's like, don't allow your insecurities to control you. All
Mm.
right, just like I talked about my insecurities because of what I had heard
Right,
about Hollywood. I
right.
didn't know. See, I've been shown. Now I know what I heard was wrong.
Yep. And how true is
So,
that for so many people in so many different industries,
you
instances
know
like
what? It's in
mhm,
every facet of our lives. It's not even just
absolutely.
in our professional life, it's in
Yep,
every facet. It's like, how many times do we allow the words of another person to hold us back? And at
exactly.
40, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, see, I'll be 71 in a few months. I've got more years behind me than I do in front of me. So my outlook changed every day.
Mhm.
Today is the youngest I will ever be again. And I'm going to rock it
Yeah.
because I'm older tomorrow.
Yep.
And when you're 40, you've got more years ahead of you than you do behind you, you know? So be
And
you.
so many people don't believe that though. So that's really good context.
I want to tell you, it's like, what are you waiting for?
Yes.
You know, I'm from the generation born 1951. Of course, we saved the china for
Mhm.
those special occasions.
Yep.
And I remember asking one time, why?
Why are we doing
Why
this?
did we always just use the good stuff when strangers came over, when visitors came over? Why didn't we use the good stuff for us?
Yes.
You know,
Such a good
well,
question.
my advice to a 40-year-old: use your good stuff.
Use your good stuff. Yes, I
Use your
love
good
it.
stuff. Don't wait.
What are
And
you
I
waiting
tell you,
for? Yeah.
Shauna, I can't tell you how many times, because when I dance like I'm 20. And I dance like I could stroke out tonight and this will be my last dance.
Can I
And
can I tell you on this dancing thing? I just recently went to a friend of mine had a birthday party. It wasn't a big number. She just decided it was a big party year, which I love.
yeah,
And it was 80s themed. So we all decked out in our neon. It was so fun. And I have been living my entire life saying, "Oh, I don't dance in public. If I'm dancing, I've had too much to drink." And all of a sudden I was like, "Why do I believe this? Why
bingo.
why do I believe that I can't dance unless I've had too much to drink?" And I said, "Okay, from this day forward, I am a dancer. I dance at parties because it is fun."
That's
Like
right.
just it's
Well,
just
again,
the stories we're telling ourselves.
Mama Char's 3F rule. I'm going to tell you what,
Yeah.
it's like and here's the deal, Shauna: people that don't do what they want to do for fear of what someone might
Might think.
might think. But
Yep.
here's the reality: the opinion others have of me is never the same. Even if they're sisters or they're best friends,
Yep.
their opinions of me will be different. But you know what the worst part is? My opinion of me is the only one that counts.
Yep.
It's the only truth. Their opinion is based on what they see, what they hear, what they experience. Mine is life, mine's reality, mine's my thoughts, my heart, my treasures, right?
100%. Yes.
So it's like, man, if you're 40 and you got 40 more years in you, don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't wait. I get told, man, I'm going to be you when I grow up. And I always say, why wait?
Why wait?
Why wait to
I
be
think that
me?
the subtitle for our episode should be, "What are you waiting for?"
I think so
So
too.
good. It's so
It's
good.
like, I'm going to tell you what, I don't say now. I do have boundaries. I just set one with a social media influencer where we were going to do a Freaky Friday switch, right?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and I was going to play like I was 20 years old, and she was going to play like she's 70 years old, kind of
Uh-huh.
deal.
Uh-huh.
But the dance scene was at a swingers club.
Oh,
Well, hashtag Bless the Movie is now coming out in December. Mama Char, hashtag Bless the Movie, Mama Char Swinger Club ain't going to happen.
Mhm.
Just not going to happen.
Mhm.
Before then, I had a rule. It's like, I don't worship Satan and I don't get naked. One's for me, one's for you. So
Yes.
it's like, it's okay to be you
Yes.
with boundaries,
Absolutely.
with
Yes.
boundaries. It's okay.
Boundaries are important. They're so
Perfect.
important. Okay, so where are you going from here? What's next for you?
Well, all right. So, like I said, hashtag bless the movie is going to
Yes.
be out in December. Uh, and I'm excited about that because we've won so many awards across the festival circuit. Um, the most important is the people's choice, which means that
Yes.
the reason we made the movie is being received. And so that's very good for me. Harry Styles, fingernail
Fingernail
polish
polish.
campaign will show in June. And so that'll be coming out in June. Titanic 666 just hit Tubi, and I get to play 8 different roles
Oh,
in
wow.
a movie. And it was the week of my 70th birthday. So it was like an awesome, awesome shoot. It was 5 days at the Queen Mary, which is haunted,
Yes.
documented. And this is a movie about a Titanic theme cruise that goes awry. And
Okay.
so I get to play over 5 days. I got to play 8 different roles. And I'm going to tell you, I
How
had such the
fun.
best time. So it's on Tubi now. And I tell you, it's really a good show. I was surprised because I get to see my little, what I get to
Y-
do and all that.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the finished product, it's really good. Um, I did America's Got Talent last year. And so AGT keeps reaching out to me. And there's a new show with AGT coming out that I may be a part of, but
Nice.
we'll know more about that. I just got to play as part of the audience for the new Password with Jimmy Fallon. And I don't know
Nice.
if I can tell that, but it's
Okay.
the old Password coming back, and it is so fun. It is so
Oh,
much
good.
fun.
Oh,
So I
good.
just got to do audience last week with that. So yeah, so who knows? It's like every day I just open my email and it's like, Father, lead me.
Yes.
Show me what I need to do, what I need to say, and what I need to be.
I
And I'm
love it.
here.
I love it. Okay, so I obviously have been following along with you, and I know everyone who listens is going to want to follow as well. Where can people find you?
I am on all social media as Mama Char Blessed. And that's MamaChar Mama Char Blessed on all social media. I don't do Twitter. I haven't done Twitter in years and years and years because that was my first platform,
Mm-hmm.
that I started out with. And then, but I'm on Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
Facebook for sure. For
Instagram
sure.
is my favorite. Which is your favorite social media channel?
Instagram, I'm learning Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
See, Marie helped me with Facebook,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's like learning how to market and all that stuff. So both of my accounts, my Mama Char Bless is connected. So when I post on Instagram, it automatically posts
Yep.
on Facebook.
Yep.
So now
Makes
they're
it easy.
connected.
Mhm.
I just don't know how to work Instagram as efficiently as I do
Yeah.
in marketing and reaching. And I tell you, my Mama Char page reaches over 600,000 people every day.
Look at you.
Telling you, I am so blessed. And it's just humor. I don't put any kind of politics, religion. I don't put any kind of stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
my sick sense of humor,
I do the
out
same.
there to.
Listen, there's plenty of that in other places. I have my goal for social media has been I want to be a little bit of positivity and inspiration in the sea of just the muck that's out there. So that is my goal, is that someone will be, their day will look a little brighter and they'll feel a little lighter after, seeing my posts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day. Every day. If I can make somebody smile, my day is made. And I can't even explain that to anybody, but it's like I smile all the time, all the time.
Well, I have smiled through our entire conversation.
You're
I
so wonderful.
cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your busy, busy schedule to chat with me.
Thank you, Shauna, for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Okay, listen. Are you struggling to find what your true purpose really is? You should try journaling. At the very least, it will get you to a better feeling place than where you are right now. I've created a set of journal prompts to get you on your way to discovering who you truly are and where you want to go from here. My free download is called Journal Yourself to Joy, and it's available at shaunalee.com under Free Stuff. These are my tried and true journal prompts that will raise your energy, increase your positivity, and brighten your day. Download yours today.